Happy New Year to all our viewers. Welcome to SVG-TV News for Monday, January 5th, 2015. I am Jennifer Richardson with the details. Government has applied for $15 million from the Abu Dhabi Development Fund for the geothermal project here. This was revealed by Prime Minister Dr. Rav Gonsalves during a news briefing held today at Cabinet Room. Dr. Gonsalves says the application, which is being made through IRENA, is a long-term low-interest rate loan which will be part of equity in the geothermal project.
A lot of work was involved in preparing this matter, and Ellsworth Dayton at the Ministry of, as the Director of the Energy Unit, played an important role in the preparation of the documents. And there are 80 applicants, 80 applications, from which they're choosing 8. And the total sum would be $60 million overall now, in that vicinity, which they would lend in this particular year. But we 60-70 million, but we are asking for, we made an application for 15.
Dr. Gonsalves noted that the project will be primarily equity financed so that when they are ready to discuss pricing and payback, there will be a better deal involved.
Than if it is done without resources coming from us or coming through our own instrumentality. It is, you know, I've been saying for quite a while that one of the more important public policy questions going forward, has been and going forward, is how do we deal with the issue of energy.
Meanwhile, Dr. Gonsalves noted that while it is imperative that they try to reduce energy to the cheapest possible level, it must be done in a way that also reduces the country's carbon footprint.
We have to seek resources for climate, for adaptation and mitigation as a consequence of climate change globally. And you know, we have been having a lot of adverse weather systems, and they're connected to climate change. Now, we don't contribute a great deal in relation to global warming, a country like St. Vincent and the Grenadines, but we at the same time have, by way of an example, in a small island developing state, we have to show that what we can do, because it then makes it easier for you to be taken seriously as a greener country to attract the resources for climate change, mitigation and adaptation. But very critically, by having the renewable sources of energy which are here in our country.
Prime Minister Gonsalves says he is awaiting a response from the opposition leader on the proposal for the voters list. Speaking at a news briefing today, Dr. Gonsalves said he is still awaiting a response to a letter he wrote on December 14th to the leader of the opposition requesting a proposal for the cleanup of the voters list.
Enclosed is a draft proposal for the amendment to the Representation of the People Act, Chapter 9 of the revised laws of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. You may recall that I raised the issue a few months ago in Parliament, and you appeared receptive in response. The central purpose of the proposed amendment of the Representation of the People Act is to clean up the voters list, which is bulging almost entirely because so many persons on the list have been overseas in excess of 5 years and ought to be removed. The amendment was actually proposed by the Supervisor of Elections. This draft has been approved by her. If you are interested for Parliament to proceed with this matter, I propose the following. 1. The parliamentary opposition and your lawyer meet with the supervisor of elections and the Honorable Attorney General to discuss the draft with a view to clarifying any relevant issues. 2. The parliamentary opposition and the government will then meet with the supervisor of the elections and the Attorney General to finalize the draft. And 3. Thereafter, a bill reflecting the agreed draft would be tabled for debate and passage in January 2015.
The National Nine Mornings Committee is urging the various communities to be mindful of the days chosen to launch their Nine Mornings celebrations. This advice from representative of the National Nine Mornings Committee, Lennox Bowman, while speaking at the committee's 16th annual prize-giving ceremony on Saturday. Bowman says the National Committee has heard the complaints of several communities who have stated that they feel neglected by the committee's absence during their festivities. Bowman further added that the committee already has a hard time attending the numerous scheduled events.
One evening I did Rosebank, Barley, Layu, and I couldn't even make it. When I finally got to Tongue Hill, they were just finished. And this is the pattern of it, because there's only 9 days inside there that we're working with. And most people wait until just the 2 days before the 9 days start to do all the launching. So you have 8-9 person launching one time. So it is very difficult. And next year when we work on these things, we may be able to have 1 or 2 more persons who can come to do the opening, but it is impossible to have Michael or I at every single opening.
Meanwhile, Bowman says that persons have also complained to the committee about the judging process and assures Vincentians that this is also on the committee's to-do list to correct in time for December 2015. Bowman said while he has always commended the Nine Mornings judges for their hard work and dedication, there is always room for improvement.
However, I think from all that has been said today and maybe said last year as well, in going into next Christmas, we're going to have everybody together and we're going to get a few pointers from, judges who are we heard from Bentley. Bentley is obviously very experienced and very capable and competent. We'll get some other judges together and we will have a session to address the issue of the judging, because we do recognize that like all cultural festivals and competition, the art forms develop based on a competitive kind of spirit. So judging becomes very important to the art form if it is to develop, and it must be obviously well understood by all. So I think the committee will give the undertaking that before next Christmas we will have, and we hope everybody will come out, because that's one of the problems as well, that we call people out and they don't come out. So we certainly will do that, God's willing, and hope that we can really address some of these issues.
Vincentians are being told to expect a little more from the Nine Mornings celebrations this year. Product developer at the National Lotteries Authority, the NLA, Anthony Denny, made a big announcement at the Nine Mornings Committee Prize-Giving Awards. Denny says the NLA is working with the committee to host a Parang Soca competition to recognize the various Vincentian artists who contribute annually to the Nine Mornings celebration.
2015, come this year, there's going to be a Parang Soca Monarch competition. And it is just, saying thanks to the wonderful music that our artists have been putting out year after year after year, giving us that opportunity to experience our own unique Vincentian Christmas.
Prime Minister Dr. Rav Gansab says he is hoping to see a lessening of criminal violence in the country this year. Speaking at the news briefing today, Dr. Gansab called on Vincentians to reflect on what they have been doing and capitalize on how they can do better.
The churches are helping in that regard, the families, the schools, your workplaces, but individually each of us has to do it. It's a new marker, so to speak.
3 past students of the Intermediate High School have been awarded the 2014 Bertram Timmy Richards Memorial Scholarships. Today, the Board of Governors of the IHS presented the awards to Lindika Sterling of Kingston Park, Cremisha Bowens of Otley Hall, and Yonte Jack of Edinburgh, who are now enrolled at the SVG Community College. The awardees were selected from among applicants who graduated from the school last June. Each received an award valued at EC $2,000. The trustees of the school established the Bertram Timmy Richards Memorial Scholarship Fund in 2012 to enable students from the IHS who were successful at the CXC, CSEC O-level examinations to pursue studies at the SVG Community College, and also to those who need assistance to attend university. The fund was established as a tribute to Mr. Richards for his contribution to the development of education in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, in particular the intermediate high school. Members of the Board of Governors, Hermia Scott, Chairman and past Principal, Moulton Mayers, Claude Cambridge, Vincent De Silva and Keisha Phillips all addressed this general school body gathered for assembly to mark the start of the new school term today. During their remarks, the scholarship recipients, staff and students of the IHS were all urged to learn to labor and learn to work hard and to keep the ideals of the school wherever they go. Awardees were advised to spend the monies wisely and to use it for their education, while students were reminded to improve on their conduct and dress codes. Board member Moulton Mayers, in his remarks, pledged to mentor any student of his alma mater who wants to enter the field of architecture. After receiving the scholarships, the awardees expressed gratitude and promised to excel in their studies. Desmond Brown, a laborer of Lago Heights, has been arrested and charged by the police for theft. He is accused of depriving Turnell Woods, a national of Tobago, of 2 gold chains along with 2 rings amounting to TT $96,000 on December 30th, 2014 in capital Kingstown. Brown was escorted to the Kingston Magistrates Court last Friday to face the charge, to which he pleaded not guilty. The matter was adjourned and transferred to the Serious Offences Court for a hearing today. Following Wood's testimony, the matter was adjourned to February 16, 2015 to accommodate the evidence of other witnesses who reside here. Reports are that on the date in question, Brown approached Woods, who was seated in a parked vehicle, and grabbed the items from around his neck and fled the scene. The police are investigating the circumstances surrounding the shooting of Kimron Thomas, a 22-year-old landscaper of Mackey's Hill, on Tuesday, December 30th, 2014. Thomas, who was reportedly shot at the Mackey's Hill area by an unknown assailant, sustained gunshot wounds to his chest and right hand. Meanwhile, in other police news, Raymond Ryan, a 47-year-old laborer of Evesham, was arrested and charged on Wednesday, December 31st, 2014, with the theft of 6 ewe sheep valued at $2,350 and owned by Lord Batiste of Cane End. The animals were reportedly stolen at Dumbarton between December 16th and 20th, 2014.